the Honorable Eddie Morán. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all. And can everybody hear me well out in the back? Just doing a mic check, make sure that it's all good. Excellent. Well, with that said, good morning once again and welcome everyone. Bienvenidos a todos. Es un placer. I greatly appreciate all of you making the time to be here today. And for those joining us virtually, welcome. Even with City Hall officially closed to the public and our employees working from home, it was important to me to provide this hybrid format to demonstrate to the public that our work goes on, regardless of COVID. Our residents deserve nothing less. I am also pleased to announce that City Hall will reopen on Monday, January 31st, with safety protocols in place for our employees, while visitors will be required to wear masks at all times, with no exceptions. I also want to thank some elected officials that are in the audience, Mr. Bill Evans, Chief of Staff to State Senator Judy Schwenk, State Representative Manny Guzman Jr. I also want to recognize some Reading School Board members, Ms. Patricia Wright, Julio Martinez, and Dr. Brookins. Of course, our very own auditor, Maria Rodriguez. If I miss someone, I believe also Judge Tanya Butler is here with us. So if I miss someone, please forgive me. I also want to welcome our directors that made it here today. Most importantly, I'd like to acknowledge my wife, Ruthie, and my son, Danny, who are also here with me today, and my son, Tyler, who couldn't make it, but have been so supportive of me in the last 2 years. So thank you. I often say we should count our blessings on a daily basis, and today is no different. Once again, I share with all of you how thrilled I am to serve as your mayor and how fortunate I feel to have this opportunity. You know, what a year has been. In 2021, the city of Reading experienced quite a bit of change, to say the least. It began with great news when we learned that Reading is now the 4th largest city in the Commonwealth. Let me say that again. The city of Reading is the 4th largest city in the Commonwealth. That deserves a round of applause, guys. That's 95,112 residents strong. During the 2020 census, our residents stepped up, were counted, and took this process seriously. As a result, the city of Reading will receive the necessary resources from the federal and state government that it deserves. This means more money for our essential programs such as Head Start, Medicaid, the Supplementary Nutritional Program, also known as SNAP. Even during our second fully blown year with COVID, we accomplished quite a bit. For many families and individuals, the struggles, pain caused by COVID is still all too real. Thanks to the help of Penn State Health, St. Joseph Medical Center, along with Latino Connection, more than 3,000 residents were vaccinated in 2021. And at 20 city-sponsored events from April 21st through July, St. Joseph alone administered 2,743 doses. It's definitely a step in the right direction, but we need everyone to do their part by getting doubly vaccinated along with a booster. At least that is my personal opinion. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, your neighborhood, and of course, the entire community. COVID not only presented physical and health challenges, but economic ones too. Let me begin by highlighting how our Human Relations Commission, led by Executive Director Kimberlyn Talbot, processed 500 applications and assisted 305 individuals and families with utility and rental assistance. Since the rental assistance program began in July 2020, the city spent more than $1 million to keep our residents safe and warm in their homes. The HRC, yes. The HRC helped more than 100 walk-ins and answered nearly 1,500 calls for help. We are definitely each other's neighbors, as you often hear me say. Yes, even with change and occasional challenges, Reading continued to move in the right direction. It's a direction that began with our administration foundational pillars: safe streets and safe neighborhoods, education and workforce development, community and economic development, and responsible leadership. Everything we've done in the last year has centered around these foundational pillars, and 2022 will be no different. Our guiding principles will continue to be accountability in government, equity and inclusion in our hiring practices, integrity in all our dealings, transparency and honesty with members of the public. Due to these pillars and the public's faith in my administration, calls and requests for assistance have increased. The Citizen Service Center increased by more than 2,700 last year. Service requests increased by more than 787 for a total of more than 29,500. Our Reading iRequest app also saw an increase of more than 860 users last year, with more than 400 residents using this valuable app. Our administration has also been focused on the city's bottom line as we continue to provide services to our residents in a cost-effective manner. This year also marks the final year of Act 47. Man, that sounds good. Let me say that again, after 11 years. After 11 years, we're finally going to come out of Act 47, as we have worked tirelessly to ensure a successful exit, which will take place during the third quarter of this year. With that said, I'd like to thank Gordon Mann and his excellent team from the Public Financial Management, known as PFM, for helping us get through this hard hurdle, along with all of the fine professionals at DCED. Their monthly meetings were always useful and allowed our administration to always get clear and accurate numbers. While planning for the future, the city finances remained solid. Our revenues were stable, and from tax collections, even during the most difficult economic time in recent memory due to the pandemic. Last fall, I presented a $95.4 million budget to the Reading City Council. Through proactive collaboration and weekly working groups, our administration and City Council worked on a budget with no tax increases. Please allow me to thank council members, led by Council President Jeff Wallman, for advocating passionately for their constituent through this process. To the rest of City Council, I simply say thank you. Thank you for asking questions and representing our constituents in the best way that we can. I appreciate Council's role in this process and look forward to a close and productive working relationship for years to come. Excuse me. You know, residents want to know that their communities are safe, clean, and vibrant. A viable and strong workforce is the key to that success. That's why I was pleased that the city was able to successfully negotiate 2 years collective bargaining agreements with the police, fire, and municipal works union. I thank the leaders of those fine unions for their willingness to work with the city, along with our Director of Finance, Mr. Jamal Kelly, who's present, for taking the lead in these discussions. I would also like to thank the FOP and its leadership for approving a very workable 12-hour shift agreement that allows maximum efficiency. It greatly benefits our residents along with our police force. The Finance Department has had quite a year. having processed more than 3,200 purchase orders and putting out 33 bids, requests for proposals and requests for qualifications. Major projects include the 9th and Marion Fire Station, the purchase of 2 new fire trucks, Buttonwood Gateway Project, Americans with Disabilities Act improvement at Angelica Park, Bernhardt Dam Spillway Removal Project, and the Downtown Plus Strategic Master Plan, to name a few. Public Works also had an incredibly busy year, having paved nearly 6 miles of streets, including the complete reconstruction of the 200 and 300 blocks of Penn Streets, along with all of McClellan Street and the Old Brook area. I know there has been talk for years. Boy, it got done. I'm also pleased to announce that all of the reconstruction section along the River Road, Spring Street, and Brink Street are completed. Completion of the Lincoln Street extension is also slated for a few short weeks from now, in March. None of these sections would have been completed without the collaboration from RAWA, UGI, MedEd, and 6 telecom companies that assisted us with a significant amount of heavy utility relocations. I'm also pleased to announce that 6 more miles of construction is scheduled for 2022 at an investment of $6 million, along with 300 curbs. Yeah. Many of you have also been paying close attention to dangerous intersections. Last year, Public Works, after collaborating hand in hand with the Reading Police Department, worked diligently with Garnett Fleming and McCormick and Taylor to complete traffic studies at 5 intersections. As a result, there will be new stop signs and other modifications that will improve pedestrian and vehicle traffic safety at the intersections of 2nd and Buttonwood, which is heavy with children walking to and from school, and 13 and Perry Street. As a quality of life issue, the city also installed traffic control islands and gates at the pagoda that will restrict traffic and parking, especially during after hours, to eliminate safety and some of the noise concerns that citizens have brought. Public Works also provided safety improvement at 5th Street. It was completed, last year Public Works also completed the 5th Street, Spring Street, Project 5th Street pruning project from Canal to Spring Street and replaced 760 streetlights with energy efficient LED illuminations. Yeah. The 18th Ward Bicycle and Pedestrian Safety Trail Project is also under construction, as contractors removed an existing curb and replaced it with nearly 7,000 feet of new materials. This project widened the existing traffic islands along East Wyomissing and Hancock Boulevards. In addition, the 18th Ward Liggett Avenue intersection design phase has been 90% completed and will be finished this spring. These improvements include significant stormwater and road realignments. Our community development department was also quite busy last year, as the city of Reading was awarded a federal grant from the Department of Health and Human Services for $3.9 million. This grant, through the Office of Minority Health, focuses on forming progressive partnerships for social determinants of health. The city of Reading was the only recipient of these funds in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Our administration is partnering with Penn State Health, Reading Area Community College, and Latino Connection to offer programs for our vulnerable communities. The program addresses behavioral health, mental health, substance abuse disorders, healthy lifestyles, and disease management for cardiovascular and diabetic diseases. We also offer a special thanks to the local chapter of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, the Centro Hispano, and I-League for their cooperation in this process. Thank you, guys. The city also received 2 grants for lead-based paint abatement and residential dwellings that were built prior to 1978. Lead poisoning is a determinant to the future of our children, particularly those of color. For the first time in decades, the city was awarded yet another federal grant for $3.4 million, in addition to $127,000 from the Pennsylvania Department of Health. The lead hazard reduction program requires cleaning 160 homes that are occupied with children having elevated blood levels currently. As a consequence, we are currently working to find local certified professionals, again, local certified professionals who will assist us in this effort. The city was also awarded a Walkworks Grant offered by the State Department of Health through the State Physical Activity and Nutrition Program, also known as SPAM. These funds will be used to develop active lifestyles, encouraging walkability, bicycling infrastructure, and street connectivity. Understanding the importance of education, our administration played an important and key role in offering multiple grants to Albright College. The Science Research Institute offers a framework for our young men and women through a state-of-the-art center to bring creativity and innovation. We are also partnering with Albright College to include a community center at the library, which includes and will be dedicated to cultural history. This would include the Nolan Local History Collection, the Lakin Holocaust Resource Center, and pieces from the Central Pennsylvania African American Museum. The college, yes. The college also recently unveiled the addition of a student campus building at the Exeter Hall that will be hosting 350 students. It is expected to be ready by May 2023. Also recently, Albright College shared with our administration a state-of-the-art 10,000 square foot eSport center. The center will be open to the public and will attract events from Berks County and beyond. This is another example of how our administration is building the city to be the hub of education and entertainment. We're also incredibly pleased to have welcomed Alvernia University with its new Collegetown campus of Penn Street. The modern facility offers many opportunities, to say the least, for students to receive a quality education in engineering and business administration. Not to mention the largest Starbucks in the nation, here in Reading. Collegetown created a center for assisting small businesses in Reading to establish strong foundations. This is including guiding business owners on how to form their business plans, providing website architecture, and launch a marketing plan. Our administration believes in the need for creating and supporting small local businesses. For the first time, we dedicated $30,000 in the 2022 action plan under the Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, to assist in this effort. We also welcome new ventures to Reading, and the city welcomes Betty and Ramin Areshivan, along with Hilda and Ramin Habzoud, who actually are present here today. They are the owners of fashion apparel, who purchased the property on A Street, known as the Hershey Building. Fashion Apparel will use 300,000 square feet for distribution while catering to numerous big box stores such as Walmart, Costco, and Target, just to name a few. When completed, the distribution center will create, here, listen to this, 120 good-paying family-sustaining jobs with wages starting at $15 to $18 an hour. Also, a medical marijuana growing facility located on Center Avenue, known as Franklin Lab, also commenced their second phase expansion of its facility. Upon the completion of the construction activities, it is anticipated to add in another 30 full-time employees with benefits and a competitive hourly rate. Economic development in the city is also a hallmark of this administration. Several developers, starting with the Schumann Development Group, continue to believe in the city as a fertile ground for residential and commercial development. At the front of our room, you may have seen visuals of several projects, beginning with the Berks County Trust Building at 35 North 6th Street that includes a food court and domain level and professional offices and market rate residential apartments. The Medical Arts Building, located at 230 North 5th Street, is also being repurposed for market rate and luxury apartments. While the Texler Mansion Elks Lodge at 46 South 5th Street will finally see it being renovated as a center for entertainment and social activities. You also may have noticed the Schumann Development Group's acquisition of the Wells Fargo Building at 600 Penn Street, where it will continue with professional office use. We thank you, Mr. Schumann, who is also here present with us, for his enthusiastic support of all the economic development efforts in Reading, and we definitely look forward to continuing our prosperous relationship. The Sharp Group continues to repurpose the Madison Building, which will have 83 market rate apartments, along with a fine dining restaurant, and anticipates the completion of the Berkshire Building for the students in late 2022 to early 2023. Heights Advisories, which purchased several properties for repurposing residential units, is also adding to the market rate housing in the city at the Turner and Franklin. Their work in the city will pay off greatly in dividends. Our administration is also committed to the fight against blight. As many of you know, the city of Reading has already received half of its $61 million appropriation through the American Rescue Plan Act, also known as ARPA, with the rest of the money coming to the city by the end of March. These dollars will be used wisely to invest in our infrastructure, including sidewalks, streets, playgrounds, and facades. These are generational investments that will be felt for quite some time. Our administration has already offered 2 public forums allowing residents to choose their priorities and comment on submitting proposals. Our team continues to receive requests on a weekly basis and looks forward to engaging City Council in the allocation approval process. I have also instructed our staff to prepare legislation that will properly allocate funding the facade improvements, parks, and playgrounds, sidewalks repairs that I mentioned, along with initiative to prevent homelessness and assist with displaced residents. In 2021, the city conducted 2 studies for downtown district and a comprehensive parking study. Recommendations of these studies will be unveiled in the second quarter of 2022 and will highlight the integration of mixed housing, commercial development, restaurants, and shops. The Stantec Plan addresses urban innovation through affordable housing, a mobility plan integrating arts and culture, historic preservation, all while recommending incentives for key investments. We look forward to engaging in more discussion with elected officials along with the public on a vibrancy of our downtown, which just last month received another boost. In December, I announced Cindy Kastner as the city's full-time downtown coordinator. Through our major partners, we will begin our first Fridays once again and look forward to the continuation of National Night Out, a holiday parade which brought more than 17,000 of our closest friends and neighbors to the downtown corridor, along with the first Halloween event and a successful job fair. Thank you, Cindy. The city also looks forward to making passenger rail a reality with service to Philadelphia, New York, and Washington, D.C. You see how I'm smiling. Our voice in the Tri-County Passenger Rail Initiative is a strong one moving forward. I thank County Commissioner Christian Lineback for making the city an integral part of the discussion with updates, briefings, meetings, and for taking the lead to add our voice to this proactive and exciting conversation. Keeping our residents safe is clearly of the utmost importance to our administration. For that reason, I am thrilled to announce the overall crime was actually reduced last year by 3.1% compared to 2020. This includes nearly a 4% reduction in violent crimes with a 2.9% drop in property crimes. In 2021, we reduced crime under the 3-year trend by more than 21%. That includes a 24% drop in property crimes and a 12% reduction in violent crime. In a 20-year assessment, UCR Part 1 crimes dropped by 68% since 2001, driven by a 72% reduction in property crimes along with a 51% drop in violent crimes during that period. These statistics are impressive, to say the least. It shows that we've come a long way in reducing crime in the city, not just over the past 20 years, but in recent yearly comparisons as well. In 2021, crime in Reading dropped while most of the country experienced significant increases. These accomplishments are the direct result of the hard work performed by the dedicated men and women of the Reading Police Department on a daily basis. I also applaud the fine efforts of the Reading School District, our faith-based community leaders, community organizations, and concerned citizens that assisted with crime reduction. Thank you all. Last February, the Reading Police Department launched Operation Ceasefire, a multiple-pronged approach to reducing violence in our city by using enforcement, education, and community engagement tactics. More than 600 police officers, detectives, probation, and parole officers, state troopers, and federal agents participated in this effort. As a result of the 35 details that were conducted, 225 firearms were recovered, 54 warrants were served, leading to 33 felony arrests, 35 misdemeanor arrests, along with 275 home checks conducted on individuals under supervision. Officers, yes. Officers and investigators from the police here in the city of Reading were also assigned to the U.S. Marshals Service Task Force, which was responsible for apprehending 160 fugitives in 2021. A majority of those were wanted violent violent crimes by the Reading Police Department and or had warrants. The Reading Police Department also partnered with local agencies and organizations to create a diversity training program that was provided to all employees. Representatives from the NAACP, the LGBT Center, and Abilities in Motion deliver the training program to our personnel. We also recently reestablished the Reading Police Youth Academy in partnership with the Olivet's Boys and Girls Club, having recently welcomed 45 cadets to the program. Yeah. Also, you may have noticed, and I've shared this previously, a change in my own personal appearance. This past November, I joined Chief Tonelli and many men from the police department and began growing our beard. This small gesture helped the department raise more than $16,000 in donations for breast cancer support services of Berks County through their pink patch. During COVID, many of our residents discovered the wonders of our library system. By visiting any of our 4 branches, patrons saved more than $2 million in digital and hard formats from January through November 2021 by borrowing rather than buying. Library staff, led by our former executive director, Brown Gamble, and our current new director, Melissa Adams, also help patron us at COVID vaccine appointments. Each interaction took at least 1 hour of intense one-on-one assistance in English and in Spanish. The Reading Public Library also went fine-free in June. The Why I'm Missing Foundation, thank you, contributed funds to pay off fees for lost and damaged items for children, teens, and families. Library items are also being returned at a greater rate than in 2019, allowing more residents to enjoy materials. The Senior Outreach Coordinator visited 12 senior housing sites with library materials and activities. Residents don't need to worry about getting to a library branch. We bring the library to them. The library's 2 mobile tech vans made stops at National Night Out, Sterling Mansion concerts, Family Promise, Earth Day, Juneteenth, Berks Community Health Centers, parks, and playgrounds. Wi-Fi, hotspots, laptops, and professional library staff help residents sign up for the child tax credit, create resumes, and look for jobs while taking the summer RPL activities on the road. I'm also proud to announce that since our reopening to the public on July 6, 2020 through 2020, which happened 21 months ago, there has not been one reported COVID transmission between library staff or between patrons and staff. For that, I thank the city's emergency management coordinators for their guidance and support, as they have been outstanding to work with. I intentionally left this part for last, as it's bittersweet for the city. The City Fire and Emergency Services Department's biggest accomplishment was the official groundbreaking of the new 9th and Marion Station on November 5th. Contracts were awarded and site work has begun. The expected completion date of the project is in the last quarter of this year. In August, the department was awarded a FEMA assistance to firefighters regional grant for EMS equipment totaling more than $980,000, of which $480,000 was for the upgrade of Reading EMS equipment. In July, the 2021 firefighters recruit class of 12 firefighters graduated from the academy and were assigned to their platoons. On November 19th, the paramedic recruit class of 3 paramedics graduated from the department's first ever paramedic academy and have been assigned to their respective platoons. The emergency management team, consisting of Fire Marshal Jeremy Seaforth, Lieutenant Kurt Lesenberger, and EMS Deputy Chief Michael Sininski, have continued throughout 2021 to provide the administration assistance in addressing the guidelines being provided by the CDC. For that, we thank you. In addition, they have been very diligently in their efforts to ensure there is adequate stock of personal protective equipment and clothing for all our city's departments, as well as cleaning and decontamination supplies. We cannot thank them enough, and they deserve a round of applause. This one is a hard one. And speaking of applause, it pains me to do this, especially during January. But I must acknowledge that effective the end of April, Chief William Stout will be retiring. Let me say a few words about this outstanding public servant. While I have been mayor, he has not disappointed me, not once. Chief Stout has run his department efficiently with class, distinction, and dedication. I know how seriously he takes his role, as he has strongly advocated for his men and women in the department. He has also made himself available to me at all hours, and I barely sleep. Under the most difficult circumstances, and at times has had the misfortune to deliver bad news as it relates to the loss of either life or property. Make no mistake about it, his steadily efficient and competent leadership will be sorely missed. So on behalf of more than 95,000 residents, Chief, allow me to take the lead in thanking you ahead of your official retirement. I ask everybody to please join me in a round of applause for Chief Stout. Thanks again, Chief. I also want to thank a couple of other entities that they are not part of the city directly, but have worked so hard to keep the city going. That is the Reading Area Water Authority, the Reading Parking Authority, the Reading Housing Authority, and the Reading Redevelopment Authority, who are going to be doing some amazing things in the very near future. However, I want to thank the entire workforce in the city of Reading. They're the true heroes. Our men and women come to work every day with one mission: leaving the city a little better today than it was yesterday. It's quite simple. They deserve respect. They deserve consideration. and they deserve patience, especially as we are still in the midst of COVID. We are all working as hard as possible to continue to provide the best public service we can. And for that, I thank you. You all know me by now. I'm an optimist. I choose to see the good in everyone and what he or she can bring to the table. If you see a problem, bring it to us, but also bring a solution. If you have an issue or concern, share it with me or my directors. I'm sure we'll try the best we can to fix it. But above all, do it respectfully with an eye on improvement. I often say that Reading is a city on the rise. I believed it when I became mayor, and I still believe it today. I ask that you help me to continue lifting up as our best days are yet ahead of us. I can't thank you enough for your continuous relationship to help me make this city the best it can be. May God bless you all. May God bless the city of Reading, Berks County, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and the United States of America. Bendiciones, and thank you. Thank you, and have a blessed day, everyone.